All right, good morning, viewer. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, traders. Happy New Week to all of us. I want to welcome you all for this great trading opportunity for the new week. Um, my name is Lucky Udwihwe. I represent Data Point Forex and Tech Academy. Once again, we've been into trading analysis, and I want to assure you that as we start the week, we are going to have a very fruitful week ahead. First, let me first of all thank everyone, all my students, all my staff, all my followers, that going forward, we're going to be meeting up all our targets to make sure that we give you all the analysis for the week. I'm going to be doing 3 analyses today or 4 on different pairs. Hopefully, I believe strongly that we will have a good take or a good trade for the week. But first, for those who trade synthetic, I'll give you 1 or 2 pairs which I've actually done analysis over the weekend, and it has been a very good outcome. And also for those of us who are on the normal currencies, I will also do 2 pair on that currencies to show that we have those who benefit from us, most especially on GBP USD and GBP JPY. Those are my 2 favorite pairs, although I can do analysis in any of the pairs. But for me, as a trader, that is the 2 favorite pairs I have. Then also we may consider S&P 500 and gold, XAUUSD, for those of us who love to trade gold and other indices and commodities. Thank you once again. And first, let's start with synthetic, guys. I'll be considering volatility 10, as you can see on my screen. Now, if you look at what I have on my screen, you will see that I'm a trend trader and I also believe in support and resistance. With my support and resistance, I make sure that we have 1 or 2 touch on the support and we have 1 or 2 touch on the resistance. And once I have my confirmation of trend line, have my confirmation of inner trend, for instance, your minus zone and all that, where your inner trend might be likely touch. Those are my entry levels or my exit level. So first, you see the trend line at this level that touches the support. Sorry, on your demand here, and the demand shows that you have a very strong um, touch, first, second touch, and at the third touch, I allow the trend line that is coming from the upper zone down to the lower zone. Then there was a breakout of that trend line that makes this resistance. When it touches back to the zone again, I see it as a good entry. But I missed out this trade anyway, but I waited for the next one where you see my long bar existed. So what I did was to allow the trend to touch the first zone of the trend line. Immediately it touches, then I entered. And you can see this gave me a very good profit. Although it's still on the long, which I believe my exit point is going to be on 5,016 points. So at that point, it's going to have a very strong resistance because it has touched upper resistance 1, 2, and I'm expecting the third touch for me to exit this trade. And one thing I always like synthetic for, once is on the one direction, whether on the buy or the sell, it maintains that. And if you're a good trader, you follow up a pair that have a one direction, not pair. Like for instance, I have synthetic V10X and synthetic V10. I always allow people who understand how synthetic work to work along with a pair that are more maintaining a trend. For instance, V10 maintains a trend, V25 maintains a trend, V50 maintains a trend. Then when you look at V10X, V10, V25X or V30X and V50 or V70X, I really don't encourage newbies to take advantage of that because their trend in that aspect is not really following the normal trend, maybe uptrend or downtrend. It's always very volatile. If you are not a good trader, you can easily lose your account. So I encourage us to follow V10, V25 or V50 for a beginner. With that, you are sure of having a good result at the end of the day. So meanwhile, this is what I have for this week for V10, and on my trend line is still a buy, and I expect this buy to continue to be an uptrend until we get to 5,000 or 5,016 as our exit. So this is what I have for V10 for today. Let's just also quickly look at V25. I told you I'm going to give you two pair here. So on the V25, as at yesterday when I entered the trade, it was a downtrend. Because it was a downtrend, I waited for a retracement back to 2,860 zone, which was a zone that has a very strong resistance. At that point, it got to the zone, and I waited for a candle confirmation, which are part of my my exit and entry point. So when I confirmed that there was a lot of resistance in that particular zone, so I decided to place a sell, and that sell, as you can see, is still going. My first exit is going to be 2,810, and I expect the market to drop to 2,810 before we can have an exit at that particular time. So so far, volatility 25, as I said earlier, is a trend that when it's selling is selling, when it's buying is buying. I encourage us to always maintain these two pairs. For now, these are my analysis for the week, and I'm on this trade right now. So let's look at JBP USD for those who are trading currencies. So for JBP USD, over the week, it has been a sell. All through last week, we were expecting more of a sell, a downtrend all through, right from 1,36500 down to 1,543. It has been selling. But now we have a resistance level inner zone, which we notice that there's going to be a retracement at 1,33833. So when it got to that level, the resistance actually respected. And once we notice a candle confirmation of a drop from the lower time frame, the market started dropping. And presently, I think some of my staff are on this trade, which is a sell confirmation, because we maintain we trade on support and resistance a lot. So for the resistance we have is a sell. So we expect the market to drop to a level where we will have this is the entry level, and we expect to exit at this level. We will have about 30, I think 30 SL points. With this 30, we are sure of getting at least 60, 67, which is 142. So which is 142. So that is what the JBP USD is giving us for today. If you mark the support, this is where we're going to have our exit point. And the exit point is well respected. It will be respected before the end of today trade, or likely end of the market of the day. So the JBP USD, which is a powerful downtrend, has been respecting the zone and other trade confirmation. So I encourage us to monitor this for today and see how it goes. So let's check GJ, what GJ is also giving us. JBP JPY. JBP JPY has been also a downtrend, but there was a retracement from the back. So far, we have a retracement, but let's go to higher time frame to check what the overall direction is. Now, on my higher time frame, I actually have that is the 4 hours time frame there. So I have a trend line I draw this morning with this resistance on the upper zone. I expect the market to come to this resistance and touch it. Once it touches resistance, it comes down to the lower zone, and also see the resistance touches the lower zone and have a touch, which is the trend, the both trend I mentioned here. But check all the analysis. Over the last week, the market has been ranging. It was actually not giving us any direction, or not until Friday, when there was a massive drop of the market that sold down to 211.185. So I waited for that market to retrace, and it go back to the trend of the inner trend again, which we have 212.364. Now we are expecting a sell at this level. For the world market is giving us now is going to be a sell, drop down to 210.839. So for today market, if you go to the lower time frame, notice that there was a resistance zone where the market inner zone respected, trend line from the upper zone respected. So we have a confirmation of, we have to wait for confirmation of the candlestick to have a drop. But for me, generally, we should expect a sell for GJ for today. GJ should be selling down for today. If you are going to take this market, do check your confirmation. Put your sell, but the market has gone too far. I think there's a retracement. This retracement now you can enter. Maybe possibly you put your sell for 30 and check your exit to be your next zone by using the trend line. So this will be our next exit. So for me, I always use very little space before my exit, so that when there's going to be any retracement, market may actually not touch the last zone before any exit. So I want you to respect that, so that sometimes we might be waiting for a TP, because we have a trend line that's going to have, maybe because the market must touch the trend line. It's not always that market must touch a trend line before you can exit or you can have your SL. I always follow very little pip to get to the exit point or to get to the entry point. That is what I do on my take profit and on my SL. So I think for GJ, we should expect a sell also. So let's check what gold is giving us. I gave us this gold yesterday in the night. Early this morning, I woke up and I saw gold has been selling all through the week last week. But this morning, I noticed there's going to be a resistance. So at that resistance, let's see what we have for gold. At that resistance, XAUUSD gold, fine. Now this is what we have over the night. I go back to my file, because on my gold I normally take 4 hours, because I used within 30 minutes and 15 minutes as my entry level for gold. But every other trade I use within 30 and 1 hour. Possibly if I'm not going to be available, I can use 4 hours. So if you check what gold is giving us, early this morning I gave out this trade that it was going to be a buy, and the buy has been respected, and we are on the buy so presently. So I want us to look at gold to be a buy to another resistance, a trend line coming from 4 hours above, which is, or inner zone, which is 4,610. I expect a massive buy to happen within today and tomorrow before we can possibly look for a sell on gold. But for this morning, is a buy. So take a gold as a buy. So let's look at another volatile pair. I want to choose S&P 500 this morning. This is what I have for S&P 500. I normally start S&P 500 with weekly. On my weekly analysis, in fact, this is a zone I had over months back. Now, whenever there is a breakout of this zone for 6,954 zone, it's going to be a massive buy. But fortunately, I don't trade S&P 500, but I actually have a friend who always requests me to do an analysis for her. She based in US, and I've just, okay, fine. We had a chat yesterday. She said she wants to see my S&P 500. So I did that this morning on my 4 hours, moving from 1 week to 4 hours or one day. I actually saw a very massive drop. Through my trend line up, it was a buy all through. Then I had a breakout of this my trend line coming from down to up. That breakout has actually happened before today. If I had monitored this trade for last week, I would have expected a sell. Unfortunately, I couldn't monitor it because I don't trade it. I only do an analysis for a friend. So I now checked that this morning there was a massive drop. So what I'm looking at is to use this arrow. Any retracement back to the zone of 7,511 again, I'll enter for a sell. So I've asked my student who based in US that you cannot enter this trade for now. Allow a retracement. If there's no retracement, don't worry. Let's wait. Where you can possibly enter again is this zone. This zone I'm marking. Let's say this as another entry. What do we need to see at this zone is we need to see a breakout, possible retracement, then we enter for a sell. That is what the only two ways we can have a trade on this. Overall direction for now is a sell, except if this market take this movement down here. Let me use an arrow so that you get it clearly. This movement down here, possible for a retracement up, maybe come to break this zone, then we have a retest, then we cannot go for a buy. This is the three directions I have for S&P 500. But for this, we need to wait. What are the things we need to see? We need to have a candlestick formation that will tell us this zone is a zone for a sell, or a candlestick formation that will tell us this is a breakout. A retest can happen. We monitor a candlestick formation for a sell. Remember, this is an inner zone that is also going to be respected. These are part of the market analysis for today, Monday. I urge us to follow us, our links on Facebook, on TikTok and Instagram, and at the same time on YouTube. Data Point, Forex and Tech, we are ready for you, we are for you, and we believe that in a few months' time, if you are not a profitable trader, you will surely be a profitable trader. When you use our analysis, every day 10 a.m., I will be giving out this analysis going forward for us to have a future trade by God's grace. Thank you all, and I wish all of us a profitable week. Thank you, and have a blessed week.